Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Elsas. Thank you for joining me today on another episode of the Relationship Wheel. Today, I wanted to talk about responsible parenting. Now, if you are not a parent or a guardian, then I guess that this is not really relevant to you. But if you have children in your life that you see on a regular basis, maybe it may be important for you to just stick around for a few moments. Without further ado, what is responsible parenting? To me, it is modeling positive behavior and actions to install responsibility and positive behaviors in your children for your children. Children are always watching and listening to what you do. That's a fact. You stub your toe, you drop an F bomb, guess what the most popular word in your household is? And it's not even you saying it, but that one time. So, with that said, it's important to know that children are always watching and listening, and that they do mimic behaviors from the people who are around them most. And they do look up to their parents. Whether or not they show it, that's a different thing, but they do reflect how their parents behave to the world around them. So if you are the type of person who is outgoing and always helping people, always have a smile on your face, and your children are around to witness it, chances are that's going to be the kind of disposition that they have. Now, if you're on the opposite spectrum and you don't really want to admit it, that is fine, but you kind of seclude people, you talk negative a lot about things, oh, I don't want to go this, the weather's that. Chances are your children are going to reflect that. Now, it is up to you as a parent to try to teach and equip your children to survive in the world as adults, to be functional adults later on in life. So if you feel that your child is negative or just being a bummer or a buzzkill, or your child is on cue, just bright sunshiny, or maybe even too much bright sunshiny, too trusting, well, some of that does fall on you, and it is hard to explain things to children sometimes, why you want them to behave or do things a certain way in life, because if you're too friendly, you could get kidnapped. If you're too pessimistic, you're not going to have any friends. So it's hard to try to talk to children sometimes about how their disposition in life could affect them, whereas it's a little easier to show them. Maybe not easier for you. It's old habits die hard. I know that if you are stuck in a slump and you are having negative thoughts constantly, oh, I don't want to go to work, oh, I don't want to go to school, etc., and your children hear that and you get stuck in the cycle, that's how they're going to end up thinking about life in general too. They're going to have that negative disposition. So it's important to keep in mind that you are the one who is teaching them how to live and respond to the world around them. If you're encouraging or demonizing, they are going to learn that from you. I had no idea that my children watched me as much as they do, but sometimes I can say that when my daughter opens her mouth that I walk out. It's a big surprise. But it's good sometimes because the things that she says are fundamental values that I have installed in her and her father has installed in her. So it's good that I am aware, but sometimes parents are not necessarily aware that they are the primary teachers of children. From the ages of 0 to 3, they download most of their core values from how they are treated and handled and cared for as infants and young toddlers into that transition. If they have a parent who is spastic whenever they're crying because that's their means of communication, then it turns out later on that after they exceed that 0 to 3 timeline, when they get older, they're going to have meltdowns when they hear loud noises or things like that, because they were not taught how to cope with these certain triggers. So it's important as parents to remember that we are our children's first teachers. Every day, our children have a metaphorical cup, I'd like to say. This is just my analogy of it. And every day, this metaphorical cup is empty, and it is our job as parents and guardians to fill their cup. It's important each and every day, just like Fred Rogers said, for them to know that they are accepted as they are loved, they are important, they are mattered. It's important for us as parents to take the time to listen to our children, to actively listen. There's a big difference between listening and actively listening. When somebody actively listens to somebody, they are listening with the intent of understanding the message, the intended message that this person is trying to get across, without judgment or needing to put any input. Sometimes it's just good to listen to your kids talk. And it's amazing. I mean, we birth these tiny little babies, and here they are talking philosophy. It's amazing. So, another thing is, they need to learn, they need to grow. Every day, I try to fill this cup. Pardon me, that's my youngest. She's kind of bored with me. I've been trying to make this video for a few hours today, and she has been very gracious in letting me do this. So without further ado, I do have just a couple more things that I'd like to go through with filling their cups. They need to feel loved, they need to feel heard, they need to feel that, they can learn and grow and laugh and that they are accepted. It is our job to provide that security for them. And sometimes it's hard to get caught up in the adult things, but we have to remember from their perspective that they are looking up to us. Pardon me. We are their role models, so it's important to give them feedback, give them that time, and make sure that they know that they're loved. I try to read with my kids. I take them for walks. I take them to the library and things like that. I always try to spend time with them and let them know that they are loved, because every night when they go to bed with that full cup, it gets emptied. So first thing every morning, it needs to be filled again. Now, the final thing that I wanted to cover is, when you are a responsible parent, don't forget that you are important too. It's good to set that boundary, because I remember having my first two children and begging to get a shower. That's not something you should have to do. Be sure to take time out for yourself, and not in the way that you are super greedy. That's my daughter. But I mean, your children need to understand that you're a person too. So to be a responsible parent, you do need to take care of yourself and to take care of others. That's about all I can do right now. My daughter's getting a little impatient with me, but I do appreciate your time. If there is any feedback that you would like to give to me, I would definitely appreciate it. So feel free to comment, feel free to like or dislike. That's fine. Just any kind of response would be lovely. Until the next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.